it's warm up here. Put it like this: it's warm down here in Texas.
I hear you, man. It's kind of cold in North Carolina.
Hey, I'm sure.
So I wanted to welcome you on our show. Once again, we've done one in the past, bringing you on one of my shows. But I wanted to welcome you on Sports Talk and the Success Table, Mr. Two-time Super Bowl champion running back and first round pick by the Buffalo Bills. How's
Yeah,
it going?
everything is going well, man. I try to well, I wanted to take me a trip up there to Buffalo for this playoff game, but once I got that weather, I decided I'd stay down here in sunny Texas.
Hey, it's supposed to be really cold. That weather's supposed to do like the first time they met this year.
It, and it's a night game too. Oh man, that's even
8:15.
colder.
So for my audience, how did you get involved with football as a kid?
You know what, man? That's a real funny story. Because I always thought I wanted to be like Michael Jordan. I wanted to be like Mike. And every kid that grew up in my era wanted to be like Mike. And I only played football really 1 year. You know what I'm saying? 1 year of high school football, and that was people, daring me if I come out there on the football field, they'll bust me up, and But I was like, man, if I come out there, I'll be the best player that y'all got, and that's how I actually went out there even playing football, just based on a dare from my friends.
Definitely, man. So looking up at sports role models, who were some as a kid for you?
You know what, man? I was a big Eric Dickerson fan, big Walter Payton fan. Um, Basketball, everybody loved Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Those were my guys.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So coming from the University of Houston, how did the league welcome you the first year with Buffalo? What was that moment like, man?
First, you just ecstatic that you being drafted, that you getting drafted, that you made it. All the hard work that you put in has paid off. Draft day, Buffalo. Then after a couple of minutes, it set in. Oh damn, it's cold up there. So we actually go up there, for mini camp, for rookie mini camp orientation. It's in April. I go up there, it's still snow on the ground. I'm coming from Houston, where it's 80 degrees. I get off the plane with shorts on. I got a rude awakening. That's when I know, like, okay, this right here is not Texas. It's gonna be cold up here.
Definitely, man. Hey, especially when you transition, hey, from Buffalo to New England, you stayed in the cold. Hey, you didn't have to transition to warm weather. So with
You
that
know
little
what, man? That was
transition,
one good thing about the.
go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, with that transition to New
That
England,
transition, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I had something to prove. I felt like, Buffalo, I was a first round draft pick, so I'm labeled as a bust. So I get picked up with New England. So now I got something to prove to myself and everybody, in the National Football League, that I still can play this game. But I'm going from one cold weather city to another one. So that didn't really affect me. It was just playing with that chip on my shoulder that, hey, I still can play this game. I still can be a asset to a team if given a chance. So that's when I went in that whole year again, getting picked up by New England, was going in to prove that I still can play this game. I still had some tread left on the tires, as they say.
definitely, man. So being in the AFC East, keeping within that division, did New England approach you about any details about Buffalo?
Oh, of course, that goes on all the time. When you like, tell me some of their tendencies of what's, something that they like to do. Everybody picks that player brain that come from the team that you play against. So, me having some knowledge of what was going on with Buffalo, of course, you give them all that you can afford to audibles. Here's what you look for when you hear this. This is what this happened. When they give this signal, this is what they're going to try to run. But everybody on the other team knows that too. So they kind of change things up for that week when you're playing against somebody that you formerly, had on your team.
Definitely, definitely. So scrolling it to the 2 Super Bowl runs. For my audience, what stands out the most about those runs to the playoffs? And what advice would you give NFL players now that are going into the playoffs week 1, the wild card?
First of all, it's one and done. Everything tightens up in the playoffs. Everything, the hits become a little harder. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you pay attention to detail. You become more focused. Now, that first run in the Super Bowl, when I first got to New England, I mean, we started off the season off. We lost Bledsoe, which was at the time had just became the first $100 million quarterback. That was the leader of our team. And our first game, we went up there and lost to Cincinnati. And at that time in the 90s, early 2000s, Cincinnati wasn't beating nobody. So I knew, I was like, man, we going to be sorry. And, we just kept tugging along, kept practicing. And once Drew went out, everybody knows the story. Tom Brady, he got his chance, and the team kind of rallied around him. And myself, Kevin Falk, the running game was going to have to be a part of that to kind of take some of the load off him. And once we started believing in what he could do, and we saw ourselves gaining momentum as a team, man, we just took the momentum into the playoffs, and we rode that ride all the way to the Super Bowl that year in 2001.
Definitely. With J.R. Redmond also.
Right. J.R. my man.
Definitely. So scrolling forward for you personally, your last game going into retirement, life after football, how have you applied those trials and tribulations of the game to your personal life?
You know what, man? When you first retire, it's kind of hard for you to really find your niche because you've been playing football for so long. That's all that you knew. Every morning, that's what your life consisted around. Just, getting in shape, playing football, trying not to get hurt. So my first couple of years, man, out the league, it was kind of hard to kind of find out what I wanted to do and what other areas that I want to go into. So the first couple of years was kind of a struggle trying to find out what I wanted to do. But now I got I got my own little trucking company. I call it Do Your Job Transportation. Kind of Patriots logo. And then I got a food trailer that I also run called Country Boys Cooking. Me being a country boy from Alabama, so I got that going on. So I kind of found my niche with that. I love to cook, and so I kind of found my niche in that with the food trailer and with the trucking company. It was just an opportunity to get in that with some people that I know, and it worked out pretty well for me.
Definitely, definitely. So my next couple questions, I'll let you take your stance on it, and I'll take mine. These questions are brought to you by B&D Sports Media, and we mentioned it before, 8:15, Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. What is your takeaways for the game? What are the keys to victory?
Well, we know what the key to victory is. The key to victory is going to be whoever can run the ball the best and whoever can stop the ball and eliminate the turnovers. The first time when New England came to Buffalo, when the winds was 40, 50 miles per hour, they ran the ball. They only threw the ball 3 times, and the Bills, they couldn't stop the run. So, they ended up losing that game. And when Buffalo went to New England, they ended up getting, they moved the ball a little bit better. They started, sticking with the running game a little bit more, set up some play action pass for Josh. And Buffalo won that game. But this game right here, when it's scheduled to be 5 degrees, wind chill, negative, when you get hit, your whole body feel like glass, feel like you shattering. So you don't want to get hit. You really don't want to tackle nobody because you feel like your body just vibrates. But whichever team can run the ball the best and stop the run and do not turn the ball over and come out, on top on this game, I look for a hell of a game, man.
For sure. I'll take 2 stands, one for the Patriots and one for Buffalo. For New England, they need to stop Josh Allen from getting outside the pocket. New England, Matthew Judon needs to step up on the outside to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. That's what they've down the stretch. Matthew Judon, their high-priced free agent, has been a little bit lax on his effort side of things. He's a great player, 10-plus sacks. So that's my key to that. My next question for you, how do you feel about Mac Jones's progression down the stretch this season?
Well, first of all, I think Matt has done a good job, and of course the Patriots are taking care of him by running the ball and sprinkling some play action passes down the field. They're not asking him to really go out and win the game on his own. They got Damian Harris, the running backs that they got over there in New England. They're taking some of the pressure off him. But in the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. The pressure is mounting, it goes up higher. And him being a rookie quarterback, I know he played in some big games in Alabama. But this is the National Football League. This is the playoffs, and this is what you play all season to get to the playoffs. So from my understanding, they're going to have to make the game easy for him. And Buffalo's job is to put pressure on him to force him into the mistake. And, that's what you want to do with a rookie quarterback. You want to force him to mistakes, so they have to take away the running game.
Definitely. I think 3 weeks ago has been his peak. The last 3 weeks, besides Jacksonville, he threw the ball around and they ran the ball. So you can't really say much about that game. But the last 2 weeks have been a struggle for Mac. Him throwing, I think it's been like five to six interceptions, something like that. It's been crazy for him to limit those interceptions, and for New England they're known for not putting their players in situations for them to make a mistake. That's probably the key aspect for Mac going into the playoffs for sure. But Antoine, we'll leave it up to you, man. How can my audience find your food truck, man?
Man, I'm down here in Houston, Texas, man. I'm a long way. I'm off of 45 and Ritchie Road, North Freeway. They got me. That's it. They'll find me. They'll see the big old truck with country boys cooking on it.
I hear you, man. Well, Mr. Smith, it's been a blessing to have you on our show, and we'd welcome you on for another one, my friend.
All right, man. Thanks for having. Hey, go Buffalo. We're going to pull this thing down. Hey, I can't lose in this game. I can't lose.
Hey, you never know. New England might you can't put it past Bill Belichick.
That's what I mean. I can't lose. I play with Buffalo, play with New England. I can't lose in this game.
You can't, man. They're two great organizations. So thanks again, and God bless my friend. Peace out.
All right.